Morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on when and where you're viewing this. My name is Mike. I am the Crypto Liberal. Welcome back to my channel. Give me a like, give me a subscribe, give me a comment. Let's get into the weekend action that I'm hoping to see and fearing to see, right? But I'd appreciate any feedback, any comments, any a like, a subscribe, if anything in this video you find worth your while. So, I didn't make a video yesterday. I was really busy. It's the first time since I started this channel, 6 weeks ago now, that I didn't make a video. So I apologize. I was updating my Twitter on what I was seeing yesterday and the day before after I made my last video. And we'll talk about that in a second. So follow me there because I do provide more updates there at crypto_liberal. So how is Bitcoin looking going into the weekend? Well, let's start with the stock market. The stock market today did pretty well, actually. First day it did pretty well in so long, right? So the Nasdaq was up almost 1.5, and S&P was up. Dow was pretty much flat. The big gainer, the big bad gainer is right. The DXY went up. It went down a lot yesterday. That didn't really have an impact on crypto, but then the DXY rebounded pretty well today, so it was up a percent, which is a big move for the dollar on a day. So it's just been incessant incessant selling for 7 months on the stock market and in crypto, and there hasn't really been any significant bounce at all. So I don't know, maybe today's the start of something. I'm not going to predict that at all, but maybe we start a bounce because it's just been so bad. And now the inflation numbers, they're out. It's in the past. The Fed increased rates, the 75 bips increase that they did on Thursdays in the past, or was it Wednesday? It was Wednesday. No, it was Wednesday. So that's all in the past. The news is in the past. Maybe we have a little room to run here. We'll see. But let's look at Bitcoin. So back on a few days ago, right? The last time I did a video, I had talked about this hammer on June 15th, and I was updating it on Twitter, right? This green hammer that we look like we had. But I this is where I updated Twitter. I said, we need to wait for it to confirm, because until the next daily candle opens up high, or opens and closes higher than the candle on the 15th, it's not really confirmed. And I even updated Twitter a few hours after the candle opened on 16th and said it's not looking very good, and it didn't look very good. Right? We went down quite a bit, back to our lows, for the past 4 years, practically 3 years. So, and then today is kind of maybe an inverse candle. It's pretty ugly candle, not very long wick. I'd say it's a weak candle. So I don't know that there's much to update, going into the weekend. The weekend can be tricky because you can get big moves on Saturday and Sunday, and then just end up right back where you started on Monday. So I'm not willing to predict anything on where we end up in Bitcoin, but here's what I'm looking for, essentially. So if you recall, for over a month, I started this channel 6 weeks ago, and I had defined that support line right about when I started my channel, and that held that support line for well over 30 days, and it was perfect. It was beautiful. And I was telling everybody, I don't think we're just going to go to 20,000 where we're at right now, and then go back up. Either we weren't going to go down there, or we were going to go there, wait a few days, and here we are waiting a few days right around that level. It's exactly what it said. There was two options. We weren't going to go to 20K, or we were going to go to 20K, wait a few days, or a week, or a month even, between 20 and 23K, and then dump further. I'm really hoping that doesn't come true. It's a significant possibility, but there's still a few options, right? And what I think could happen is maybe we do get a little bit of a rebound here, right? We go up And I would not be surprised if we come back up and test my support or my former support line. Now it's going to be a big resistance. I mean, look how beautifully this support line held all throughout here, right? And again, we'll go back. I mean, you can go back to January of this year and it held. It bounced right off that support line. And then you can go back to September and it held, bounced right off that support line. And you go back further than that. So, I mean, this support line has just been perfect. And it held perfectly here. So this is going to be significant resistance when we get up to it. But here's what could happen. So there's two options, right? I think we could just have a giant wick down, maybe to 15, 16, 15, 14,000. I wouldn't be surprised. And then we stay down there not very long and come back up maybe to the $20,000 level and hang out and slowly move up to the support line. Or absent that, we can start moving up to the support line, maybe hit it here on, wherever we hit it. But, if we hit it here on this day, it'd be at about 26,000. And then we start coming back down again. And, maybe put in a giant double bottom, possibly. Or after we hit the resistance line, we come back down and we go back down to the $15,000, $16,000 level. So those are a couple options. Or we just range here for a while. So really what I'm doing on Bitcoin, and I'm sorry to say, I'm just not going to be excited about Bitcoin, even thinking about transferring my money back into Bitcoin from ADA and Ethereum until Bitcoin gets over my support line and holds it. Not a wick. It's got to close above it on the daily. So we got to get above my support line, and it might not happen for 3 months. Maybe it'll happen next week. That'd be awesome. But we got to give it above my support line and hold it. So, I mean, if that were to happen, tomorrow, let's say, we'd have to get all the way up to, approximately 26,500. So, I mean, that's not going to happen tomorrow. It might not happen, in a month. It might be 3 months. But eventually, I think we're going to get above that support line, and we'll be off to the races. But at that point, then I'll start talking about putting my money, my crypto back in that I've transferred into ADA and Ethereum back into Bitcoin. I'll think about it. But so let's talk about ADA, right? How about the call that we made on ADA on this channel, right? It's been so beautiful. So let's go back to the day we made that call, because it's been so awesome. So let's go back here. Let's check this out.
It is so bullish. It's ADA compared to Bitcoin. And let's see here. I need the Coinbase chart. And I need the weekly chart. Now this is weekly, right? I'm not trading on this on the 15-minute chart. Don't trade this the 15-minute chart. But look at this. I've never seen a more bullish chart. I'm sorry. This is just beautiful. Look at this descending wedge. Now, I've seen people on Twitter say, why would you invest in ADA? Look at all the money it lost against Bitcoin in the last, what is this? When was this? Since August of last year, it's just gotten crushed against Bitcoin, right? Yeah, it has. But I didn't tell you to invest in it in August of last year. Right? I didn't tell you that's the best time to invest. But I'm telling you right now what I'm doing, and you should do your own research and do your own financial advice. But I rarely see charts more bullish than this. A falling wedge after ADA just gotten crushed against Bitcoin, and it's starting to go up, and it could break this channel, this downward sloping trend line, right? This week it could break. I mean, it's bumping right up against it right now. So the rest of these next 4 days or whatever it is, it's going to be important. But if this breaks above, man, ADA is going to go on a tear against Bitcoin. So these people are telling you, well, you shouldn't put new money into ADA right now because look at all the money it lost against Bitcoin the last 6 months, 7, 8, 9 months, 10 months. That's not I'm not telling you to invest back here. Invest down here, right? This is where you want to put new money in when after it's gotten crushed. I just don't understand. Just because something it's happened for the last 7 months doesn't mean it's going to continue. Okay? So that's what I'm doing.
Okay. So, right? That is worked out so beautifully. So let's look at where we are today compared to when I brought that to this channel 2 weeks ago. If you value that I brought that to this channel 2 weeks ago, gave you the heads up, give me a like, give me a subscribe, because check this out. Check this out. So we got to go to the ADA BTC chart. These are the types of things that I want to bring to this channel because it's so beautiful. It is so beautiful how this has worked out. And we want to go to the weekly. Oh, this is going to be so awesome. ADA BTC weekly. Look at this. Look at this. So I told you, right? This was the week I told you. The week of May 30th. And I told you at about point, so one ADA was worth 0.000019 Bitcoin, right? I told you we were going to break it. The next week we broke out of above the resistance. We settled. I mean, it was a red week, but we settled right on top of that line. And then check out this week. Boom. Boom. And now one ADA is worth, you know, what are we at? 0.00002375 Bitcoin. How has that call worked out for us, right? It's up 25% in 2 weeks since I made that call for this channel. 25%. Meaning if you took one Bitcoin, transferred it over to ADA, when I told you about this chart that was breaking out, you'd have 1.25 Bitcoin. If you did it with 2 Bitcoin, you'd have 2.5 Bitcoin. Right? And it's not even close to being done yet, in my opinion. Do your own research. This is not financial advice, but in my opinion, it's not even close to being done yet. So let's look at the chart. Again, I told you at 0.000019 Bitcoin, right? Back here, way back here, you know, right around there, right when we were bumping up against that resistance line, broke out of it. And I'm waiting for a majority of the funds that I moved over until we get up to here, which would be 0.00006 approximately, right? And then I'll think about taking it out. So what would that be? What would that be? If that were to happen, that's a 3x. That means you take one Bitcoin and you move it over into ADA. All of a sudden, if this happens, you have 3 Bitcoin. 2 Bitcoin, you move it over to ADA when I told you. 6 Bitcoin. If your goal is to stack sats, there's not a better chart in crypto. I don't call this the most bullish chart in crypto for no reason. Now, again, and I've stressed this so many times on this channel since I made that call, this is not something that's going to happen next week, right? There's going to be ups and downs. There's going to be resistances, and I'll talk about one in a second. So don't expect this next week. Don't expect this next month. It took us 10 months to go from that high down to where I pointed out that it's the most bullish chart in crypto. It took 10 months. So it might take 10 months to get back there. Maybe it'll go quicker. Maybe it'll take a little long. Maybe it'll take a year. But if you could triple your Bitcoin in a year, don't you do it? Don't you take it? In my opinion, that's what's going to happen, right? So let's look at this. If you don't want to wait that long, or if you don't, you might want to take, if you transferred some ADA over, you might want to take some out at resistances, right? We're coming up on one kind of, I think. So at this 0.00002585, that's a resistance, this first blue line. I have another one up here at 0.00003278 Bitcoin. It's another resistance. You can see, these are previous, local highs after, some severe downtrends, and then we'd move up a little bit and then get, met with resistance and then come back down. So those, I'm going to continue to update you. I'm going to continue to update this chart as we move along and say, hey, well, here's a resistance. We might get some, a little backtrack for a little bit, but in the end, I still think we're going to surpass each of those 2 that I have, and we'll talk about, there's more, and before we get all the way up to 0.00006, but I think it's going to happen. Now, again, I'm stressing, I just want to stress, this is not something that's going to happen next week. So, you gotta consider your own financial situation and your own needs for funds to live, if you have money that you need to live off of, if you can wait that long to triple your Bitcoin. But in my opinion, I think that's the end result of this chart, is you're going to triple any Bitcoin, versus Bitcoin. Now, maybe Bitcoin stays at 20,000 and ADA moves up. Well, then, no matter what, you're still going to win against Bitcoin. If your goal is to stack sats, that chart is beautiful. I love it. So If you appreciate me bringing that to, this channel, things like that to this channel, give me a like, give me a subscribe, because I have another one that I just brought to you like a week ago, right? The second most bullish chart in crypto, I'm calling it. And I was waiting for it. I didn't talk about Ethereum on this channel for a long time. Even though I've told you I think Ethereum will outpace Bitcoin if you're putting new money in today by the end of the year, or a year from now, 5 years from now. And but I didn't bring it to this channel, put new money in absolutely right now, because this is the second most bullish chart in crypto until we saw this about a week ago. So let's go to the Ethereum against Bitcoin chart, because this is beautiful as well. So, oh, and I forgot to mention that our return so far is, I think I did that. We're that ADA chart, we're up 25% already in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, we're well on our way to 3x, right? We're well on our way. So now ETH. Okay, so look at this. We're right on this support line, and again, this support line goes back, 10 months. Back to this? Oh, not 10 months. Well, December of 20. Wow, it's longer than I thought. So 18 months. Okay, so it goes back quite a ways. Look at it, and it's been support perfectly a couple times way back then, but we're right on it right now. And I told you last week, right? I brought it right when we were resting on top of it last week. I said, hey, this is beautiful. And we wicked down. We were losing money on it. When I said after this, the most bullish chart in crypto, we've been losing money on it. And I told you when it was right about 0.052, one Ethereum was 0.052 Bitcoin. So right, at resistance last week, support last week. And we were losing money on it a little bit this week as we wicked below, but right now we're on top of it. And we're up slightly. But, right, I'm thinking my goal with the money that the Bitcoin I've transferred into Ethereum in the last week, my goal is to get it back up to this blue line, the 0.07679. And that would be about almost a 50% return. A 50% return on, again, this is not something that's going to happen next week. Not going to happen, maybe not next month, but maybe in a couple months. I think this is a shorter time frame than the ADA one, that we get up to that 0.7679, so 0.768 basically, right? That's a 50% return if it happens. And this is a beautiful ascending triangle. So look at that. I mean, it's perfect there. We held it, or it was held down as resistance several times. We broke above it, basically a fake out. But look at that. Otherwise, it's held perfectly as resistance. And it goes out quite a ways, right? The apex is way out here back, into July of next year. But, these usually break before they get to the apex. So, I mean, maybe we come up, bump the resistance, come back down, and then, break it in January of the next year. And then at that point, that 50% return, turns into a 2x. I don't know. We'll see. But again, we'll talk about it when we get there. As we're approaching that line, I'll remind you, as we're approaching the resistance line at a 50% profit against Bitcoin, I'll remind you, hey, we're coming up on resistance. We could break through, could go higher, but you might want to take some profit. So if you appreciate me bringing these to this channel, give me a like, give me a subscribe, give me a follow, give me a comment, because I'm doing my best to bring, these most bullish charts to you. And if your goal is to stack sats, beautiful. If your goal is to stack USD, maybe not so much, because, right, even though I pointed out the Cardano chart, it really hasn't gone up in USD value, but you're killing it. You're killing it against Bitcoin. And in the end, I think ultimately that's most people, that's what their goal is to stack Bitcoin. I know when I get to those levels, like on ADA, if we reach the places that I think we could reach, I'm going to take a lot of it out, a lot of the Bitcoin that I put into ADA last week, and put it back into Bitcoin, because I look at Bitcoin as my stable coin. I don't mess around with Tether or USDC or any of that. Bitcoin is my stable coin. And it's not very stable, I know a lot of people are saying, but in the end it will be. In the end it will be, and that will be my stable coin. So that's what I'm doing with that one. I do have another chart that I'm watching, but I'm not going to bring it to the channel, because I don't want people to invest in it until I think it's ready to be invested in, and it's an alt, obviously, and it's not as big of a market cap as the other two, but it it's not as bullish as ETH and ADA. So I'm not gonna put it out there right now. Maybe it will be at some point, but right now I'm just tracking ADA and ETH. I'm tracking more, but I'm just concentrating on ADA and ETH because they're so bullish right now. I mean, a 50% return, a 3x return based on charts that are just provable, or we can prove how the charts look on this channel. So if you like that, if you appreciate that, give me a like, give me a subscribe, give me some love, give me a comment. And then one more thing, right? Every week on this channel we put $100 into ADA, Ethereum, and Bitcoin, because I want to prove to you, I want to show you my work, because I've said for 6 weeks that by the end of this year, new money that you put into ADA will outperform new money that you put into Ethereum and Bitcoin. And I said new money that you put into ADA and Ethereum will both outperform Bitcoin by the end of the year, a year from now, and 5 years from now. Well, how's that looking so far? How's that looking since I started that? We put new money in every week. We've done it for 6 weeks, so we put $600 in, right? Here's where I'm telling you, we're not making money against USD. We're not making money in dollars because we put $600 into these and each of them, and they're all losing money. But look at how much ADA is outperforming Bitcoin. Almost every single day, I show you this, the returns we put in of the portfolio we've got here. Almost every day, ADA is outperforming Bitcoin since, for the last couple weeks. Almost every single day. Yesterday it didn't. I'll openly admit that ADA underperformed Bitcoin, but it's not going to outperform every day. And ADA is crushing Bitcoin. ADA is crushing Ethereum. Ethereum's got a lot of catching up to do. But today it's outperforming Bitcoin, so doing okay today on that prediction. But again, I didn't predict it until the end of the year, but ADA's not waiting around until the end of the year. ADA's doing it now. And I told you that it would happen 2 weeks ago. And it's up 25% in those 2 weeks against Bitcoin. We're crushing it. So give me a like, give me a subscribe if you appreciate that. That's all I have for you today. This weekend, don't focus too much on the charts because it could get crazy. I mean, we could have a giant wick down with all the liquidation, liquidity issues in the market, and exchanges, going under because they don't, they're illiquid. So don't get caught up in the weekend market. Keep an eye open for when the futures open on Sunday for the stock market. See how the DXY is performing. Look to see if the stock market, maintains the momentum it gained today, and that might tell you where Bitcoin will head next week. Otherwise, I still have my COVID cough, so trying to get rid of it. So I apologize for that. But so yeah, keep an eye. Let's look at BTC one more time here before we leave. BTC USD Coinbase, and we'll look at my inverse hammer. Like I said, I think it's apologize again. I think it's an ugly hammer. I don't really think it's a hammer. It's that wick is so short, but I would not be surprised if we go up this weekend. I would not be surprised if we go up this weekend. And like I said, I would not be surprised if over the next couple weeks, we go up to test my former support line that's now resistance. So we'll see, right? We'll see if we can get up there. I do expect it to get rejected. I do expect it to just get rejected right off that resistance line now, the first time it tries it. Eventually it will break it. I have no clue as to when that will be. If it'll be next week, a month from now, 3 months from now, a year from now. But that's when I will start getting excited about Bitcoin again, because when we break it and close above it and hold it, then Bitcoin will be off to the races. My opinion, not financial advice. So that's all I have for you. I hope you have a great weekend. I will do videos tomorrow. I will do videos Sunday. I will be back to update how we're looking on our various charts. And I'll keep an eye open for that other chart and maybe bring it to the channel if I see something that excites me, right? That's it. I love you all. Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining. Give me a like, give me a subscribe, give me a comment, share your journey. Let me know if you took, one of those charts or positions that I that I told you about in ADA and Ethereum, because they have a lot of room left to run, and I hope you're joining me on your journey and joining my journey, because now is the time to be excited. I know it's a crappy market, but now is the time to be excited. Now is the time to really pay attention, because this is when your future, your children's future, will be made. I love you. Have a great weekend. Stay away from the charts. They're not going to change much, hopefully, over the weekend. And I think we'll end up right back where we started on Monday. That's it. I love you. Have a great weekend. My name is Mike. I'm the Crypto Liberal. Peace and love to all of you. Good night.